Next, we're going to have supporting characters. These are any other characters in the game, really. Yeah, okay. So, we'll go with Batman first. Catwoman, Joker, I'm trying to see who's on the back of the cover. Riddler and Harley are on the back. There's a whole bunch more. The Batman game, it's awesome with their supporting characters, which are villains and anybody else who was, all the extra characters. They brought back so many villains. They brought back Penguin, Mr. Freeze, Joker. Killer Croc actually is in the game. You have to find him, but you don't battle him or anything. What's it? Solomon Grundy, just more people. Two-Face, I don't know. There's so many of them, I kind of like forget which ones are in there and which aren't. Mad Hatter. So they're all in there. And Catwoman's in there. You can play as her, which is awesome. Not going to be perverted or anything, but she looks pretty good. Riddler. How could I forget Riddler? He's all over the place. They're all there. They all act like they really should. There's not a lot of building on a lot of them. Some of them have major portions of the game, and you can get their character there, but some of them are only there for a little bit of time. But what time they do have, they do well, and they show who they really are. So I thought the supporting cast on here was awesome and great. Now, for Zelda. This could include Groose, Zelda, Impa, who else is there? Oh, there's Fee, and any of the people that are in Skyloft. All of those people could be the supporting characters. Let's see, Zelda, I actually cared about Zelda in this game, I gotta say. She had a lot more character to her than she has in any of the other games. And when she actually fell off the first time, I actually felt really bad, and I was ready to go get her. So, I actually cared. She wasn't like Princess Peach, who's just so stupid and gets caught every time. You actually felt bad that she, got caught or fell into the Hyrule below, and you wanted to go save her. And then when you'd see her, but she had to go again, I was like, wow, gotta go find her again. So I actually did care. I actually cared about the characters too in Skyloft enough to help them out. And they actually had all of their own personalities, which kind of built up, defined as some other characters, but they were done well. I would say some of the main ones would be the Headmaster. He's kind of got his own character going on. Fledge, he's kind of, you help him out a couple of times, so he's got good character. All the characters have their own kind of thing going on. Now there's always going to be the small characters that are kind of, flat. They don't really, they don't really have much to them, but they're there and they're just kind of filler. Fee can be kind of annoying because she points out the obvious, but more she's not as annoying as whatever that little thing was in Twilight Princess. I hated that little thing that was on your back when you were the wolf, whatever. I can't remember her name. It's just annoying. Fee, a little annoying, but much better than past helpers, so I say that she was handled pretty well. And you actually feel bad at the end of the game when you have to part ways with her, so that shows me that the character did pretty well. And then Groose, I forgot about Groose. Groose has a lot of character to him. It's really awesome. You can at first you hate him, but he changes throughout the game, and by the end he's just he's grown a lot during the whole game, and out of all the characters, his was done almost as well as Zelda. And that's what really gets me, is Zelda and Groose are incredible supporting characters in this game, but Link isn't really a very good main character. And I wish there was more building on him than just like they did with the other characters. So, enough of that. Which of these do I like better for supporting cast? This one's so difficult. Because when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at two people. I'm looking at Zelda and I'm looking at Joker in this game. You know what? I'm going to go with Zelda on this one. Not to just even out the score, because it's still a 3-2. But just because the characters were so much more built up from previous games and just over the story itself, compared to Batman, where they were done very well, but they were to our expectations of what the characters should be. So these were meeting expectations, these were beyond expectations. I think that's what makes this one better. Okay, so what have we done so far? We've done story, we've done graphics, gameplay, supporting characters. Is that it? I think that really is it. So the last final category is final thoughts of the game, and this one might make a tie or let Batman win. We'll see. Then after that we'll have to have a breaking the tie round. So, okay. Final thoughts of the game. We'll talk about Batman first. It's awesome. And mind-blowingly for me is the fact that if you look at Arkham Asylum, that was an incredible game. And yet this one can come in and be a sequel that's even better than the first game, and maybe even twice as better. I mean, it's mind-blowing how they can make a sequel that's better than the first one by that far. And a lot of games can't do that. Usually a sequel sucks, but this one's just amazing. So that was awesome. And content-wise, it was packed to the brim. There's so much stuff you can do in here, and then if you finish the game, you can go do Riddler stuff, and there's just a lot of content in this game. So I gotta say, it's an awesome game. Final thoughts on Zelda. My favorite Zelda game by far. My God, it's just a long game. Actually, this one took me longer to play than this one, probably about 2 hours. This one took me 2 hours longer to play, because it got me a couple of times where I thought it was going to end, and it just kept going. And a couple of problems I had with this game is you backtrack a lot, but it makes it okay because, you know, they change the environments a little bit and go to the same exact places. So it's a long game though, and it was jam-packed full of content that really kept me playing right up to the end. So let's see, I think that completes my final thoughts. So now it looks like I gotta give Zelda my final thoughts, because I mean, it's so jam-packed full of stuff. Not really extras, but just the main game itself is jam-packed full, more than this one. This one's just got a lot of extras to it. So I'll give the final thoughts to this one, which, guess what, brings our things out to 3-3. So we're gonna have to do a tie-breaking round. So I gotta think of something that I can talk about.